Good day, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope that everyone had a good week. So happy that you're with me today on April 18th. I noticed that since last week, there are quite a few people who decided to subscribe. Hi, I'm Kathy. Warm welcome, everybody. To those who are returning, I'm so happy that you're here. And to those who are new, I hope that you enjoy the visit. Chatting with you here and in the comments is something I really look forward to each week. There are so many reasons that I got started crocheting. Today I will share a couple of those reasons. Also, for us all to get to know each other a bit better, I hope that you might share a bit too in the comments or in email about your crochet journey. For me, learning crochet was partly to feel a connection with my family's crafting history. My mother, my mother-in-law, my great aunt, and my grandma all crocheted and knit. They always seemed to have a project close by, and I would see them busy knitting or crocheting, usually after supper, during a time when my health was at a real low point. That was when I picked up a book to try and learn crochet. Shortly after looking in the book and struggling to learn it that way, I discovered YouTube tutorials and was able to learn. Much thanks to Mikey from the Crochet Crowd and Marley Bird and a few other people. A lot of what I make and show on this channel is for donation. That said, I think that many of these are things that would show well at craft markets. Items that I make are blankets and shawls, hat and scarf sets, and baby blanket and hat sets, and some small household items and giftables sprinkled in. My favorite things to make are blankets first, and next the shawls. I would love to hear from all of you by email or in the comments, perhaps about how you started crochet or knitting, or what is your favorite things to make. My email address is always in the description box below if you'd like to reach out that way, and I always read all the comments and I try to reply to each and every person that reaches out to me. Thank you so much for taking time to pop in, and let's all grab our cups and chat. Now, when it comes to, one second, I'm gonna have a quick sip. My throat is just a little bit scratchy this morning. I think pollen allergies are just getting a start now. When it comes to finished items and works in progress, I have one of each this week. Well, two works in progress, but one of those whips is a secret as the pattern won't be published until May. I can show you the yarn that I'm using though. For the secret one, I'm using these two skeins, Softy Baby, in the colors Aqua and Prince Pebbles. There we go. Those are the yarns I'm using. I'm really looking forward to showing the finished item and the reveal of this project in one of my May videos. So now let's chat about this week's finished item. I'm so happy with this shawl. It has been made for 2 make-alongs. The colors of these cakes worked so well for the book cover of the month make-along by Crochet with Nona Rosanna. I will show a picture of her book cover up here. Yeah. The yarn I'm using is Roll With It Sparkle by Red Heart, and it's in the color Gray Whisper. It's a number 4. It says it's a number 4 medium, and to use a 5.5 millimeter hook or a 5 millimeter needles. And let's see, it was 150 grams per yarn cake and 561 yards or 513 meters. And I used I used all of one, and in the second one I used all of the black and gray, but not the more colorful parts of the second one. So this will also count as a multicolor yarn, so it is the project I'm using for the Something New Make Along on this channel. So for anyone who hasn't had time to watch the Something New slideshow as yet, the color we're using is Anything Multicolor, and details about the make along are in the April 7th video on this channel, or you can look in the description box below. If you can get pictures to me by May 1st, then I will have time to get the video ready, and there will be a slideshow on the first Monday of May, on May 5th. So the pattern I used is called To The Point. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Sherry McEwen. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook on this one, and when I was making it, I started out by following the pattern. However, I noticed that it would be shorter and overall smaller than I would like, so I looked at how the pattern was increasing in this section right here, and I increased it further. Also, I wanted more of a straight across look to the overall shawl, so I decreased the number of petals from 9 to 7 petals. Therefore, my shawl did not grow as much in the circumference, and it had more of a straight across. Therefore, it had more length and depth than the original pattern. In those ways, not only was the pattern and the designer new to me, I also modified the pattern itself to become something new. So here we go. And there is the overall look of the shawl. I will put a picture so that you can see the whole shawl stretched out, because the petals are really quite something. I found that at the end I was running out of this dark color, and you can't really tell, but I did skip one row so that I wouldn't get into the purple. I could finish it in the black. So it's one row shorter than it might have been, but the overall look of the shawl, it didn't affect the points at the end. It didn't affect the overall look of the shawl. So here's the way it looks across the back and in the wingspan of the shawl. So when it stretches across my wingspan, I'm about 5'6", so I would say that gives an indication it's probably about 66 inches across in the wingspan. So I'm really happy with how it turned out overall. And I'd encourage, if someone were to use a heavier weight yarn, like a heavyweight number 4 and Aran weight, or a bulky, then definitely just follow the pattern. This was because it was a lighter weight number 4. Oh, and I don't know if the sparkle is showing up. But this one that I used, of course, had quite a bit of sparkle in the yarn. Now, for anyone who's new to watching, if you'd like to find any patterns mentioned in my videos, there is always information about how to find them in the description box below. Now, for a quick mention about my second work in progress, a quick update about the blanket that I started. Originally, I planned to make a teen-sized blanket for donation, and this is the look at the square that I'm making. And I realized yesterday when sewing squares together that 3 skeins of Red Heart Comfort in this orange color would not be enough yarn for a 48 by 60 inch teen blanket for donation. So I am pivoting, and I will use 25 of these, a 5 by 5, to make a smaller blanket for a toddler, and we'll make a hat to go with it. That will be donated to Casting Off the Cold. Now, all this blanket needs is the ends tied in and a bit of a border. And then it'll be finished. And I still have enough yarn. And of course, I have some of these remaining squares. Maybe I can make a second smaller blanket, possibly a lapgan. And the pattern is designed by Ellen K. Gromley and is a free pattern by Yarnspirations. It's called the Crochet Sunny Spread Throw. I'm using a 6.5 millimeter hook for this one. Now, last week during the video, there was a call out for your hints about how to keep track of hook sizes when a project has been sitting on timeout for a while. And I will type these ideas in the description box so we can find them easily. Thank you so much for sharing your tips about this question. And now here is a roundup of the ideas shared in the comments last week. First, buy a few extra hooks and leave the hook with the project, or if the hook is needed elsewhere, leave a note in the project bag with the hook size and brand to know which hook was used. Number 2, use a note app on your phone to record the information. Number 3, the type and brand of hook is the most important thing. Try to keep all project materials together, including the specific hook used to start the project. Number 4, start a project page on Ravelry with details. Number 5, take a picture of the hook with the project so it can be referenced if they get separated. Number 6, write the size of a hook on a piece of paper and use a safety pin to pin it to the project. On the paper, include size and brand, as different types of crochet hook heads can affect the stitch. Number 7, use a notebook with the pattern name, designer, where it came from, the hook size and yarn used. The same hook can be affected by the make, so leave it in the bag and have extra hooks. Number 8, enter every project into Ravelry the same day as it is started, especially entering the hook size, pattern name, video name, and yarn. Number 9, keep the hook with the project. Number 10, write things down in a notebook. Number 11, write details on a small scrap of light colored fabric with a pen and safety pin the fabric to the project. Number 12, there are little clips that you can clip onto your project and the size hook you are using. With the size hook you are using. Number 13, stitch markers with the hook size are available, usually numbered 1 through 9. Also, there are plastic keyring tags, which are handy to write details on. Attach the key tag to a light bulb stitch marker and use that in the project. Number 14, keep a notebook of all projects and write details like the yarn, hook, designer, pattern name on the top of the project page. And number 15, as mentioned in last week's video, check an app called Pocket Crochet and look into using Ravelry to track your project details. So these are also helpful. Thank you so very much, everyone, for sharing ideas in the comments. These are things that reduce the risk and the stress, especially when the inevitable sometimes happens and we have to put a project in time out. And now for a bit of chat. Somehow my video stopped taping, so here I am for part 2. It's time to chat a little bit about the chapter title for this week. This week's title is Have a Secret. And this is such a rare week when I totally agree with Carrie Bloomston's writing in this chapter. This week was about creating something in private, all for the joy of creating, not even to whisper a word about that small project to anyone, and therefore to discover the feeling of nurturing an idea quietly, and better still, after completing it, never to show it to the world, not to any other person, just to make a small creative gift to oneself and to enjoy and feel the feelings that that secret project brings up. So the challenge this week is to stretch creative boundaries even more, finding a small project in the quiet and to see what happens. If you ever want to find a copy of Carrie's book to see what she wrote in this chapter or in any other chapter, the book is called 30 Ways to Ignite Your Creativity, The Little Spark. Information about it is in the description box if you'd like to search about it and find where to get a copy. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here, for sharing in your comments and leaving your thumbs. To all who have a long weekend this weekend, I hope you enjoy some extra crochet or knitting time. Blessings to all who are celebrating holidays during April. My family will be celebrating twice this weekend to celebrate Easter. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Enjoy your crochet, enjoy your knitting, and I hope to see you next video.